Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the BS Scouting Podcast. I'm Brad Patton, and today we have my brother back, Sean. Sean.
Hey everyone, so glad to be back today. Sorry I had to miss the last one, but Brad did a great job with it, and I'm excited to be back. And today we're even fortunate enough to have Max, who runs Mamba's Legacy podcast, with us today. Welcome, Max.
Hey, thanks for having me on, you guys. Excited to get my award predictions out here. Uh, been ready for this for quite a while. Been getting my research done, and I'm excited to talk.
Sounds great. All right, so let's start off with a banger a little bit. I want to do Rookie of the Year first. So, BS Scouting, we love talking about our rookies. We love doing a lot of draft research, and this is always a big award for us that we like to dive into. So, Brad, why don't you give me your Rookie of the Year talk?
Yeah, so for me, this has changed drastically. I've said this on the podcast before. Sean and I were fortunate enough to be at Summer League, so we actually got to see a lot of the players in person, and that changed some of my perspective a little bit than what I saw previously. And Jalen Green stood out more than anyone else to me, where he is just so smooth getting to his spots. Where I know a lot of times scorers struggle when they first get into the league. I don't think he will. I don't think he's one of those guys. And I think he might be the best player in this class. And he is my Rookie of the Year. I just think he's going to come out and be pretty successful right away because he's a better passer than I thought, better ball handler, not as bad of a defender as I thought. So there's a lot of positives with him.
Okay. Yeah, Max, where are you at in the Rookie of the Year?
So mine has changed quite a bit too. At first, I thought it was going to be Cade, then I saw
Mhm.
Jalen Green, but at the end of it, I think it's going to be Jalen Suggs. I think Jalen Suggs provides
Ooh-wee.
provides some really nice playmaking for this Orlando Magic team. I think he's going to bring the best out of Isaac, and I think he's gonna be the best all-around player coming out of this draft. I think it's either going to be him or Scotty Barnes as the best all-around player coming out of this draft. I was really high on Kaminga, but he's got too many stars around him to really stand out. And
Mhm.
I think it's going to be between Suggs and Green. I don't think it's going to be Cade just because the Pistons not too much help. They're going to hone down on him, and he's gonna be defended quite well this year. I think that's quite obvious. He plays good defense, but at the end of the day, I think it's going to be Suggs or Green.
Yeah, Sean, what are your
Wow. Okay.
thoughts there?
Wow. I'm very surprised by the Jalen Suggs one. I mean, I'm very high on Jalen Suggs. I do have him obviously in my top three. I definitely think he'll be in the top three.
I
And
agree as well. I agree.
but who I have Cade. I have Cade Cunningham. So I think he's just all around. He'll be very talented. I think he'll basically be the point guard there for Detroit this year. Technically, Dwayne Casey said him and Killian are the guards there, and isn't using point guard, shooting guard, whatever. But I think we all know, obviously, Cade's the better player, and the ball
Yeah.
will more likely be in his hands most of the time. I think he will have similar numbers to Ben Simmons' rookie year as far as like 18 points per game, six rebounds, six assists, like that. That's kind of where I'm thinking for him, and I I really think he'll have a great career. Obviously, I think we could all agree on that. The Pistons, I want to hope they'll build around him and give him the keys and not like try to give Jeremy Grant like that all-star nod. Like, no, don't worry about that. Worry about Cade. That needs to be the priority. And if they
Mhm.
can do that, I think Cade will live up to that. And I do believe they will.
Yeah.
I gotta chime in real quick. I agree with you on nearly everything you just said there, but Ben Simmons' rookie numbers are not playing.
I think I'm guessing he means his second year.
Yeah, I think you mean Ben Simmons' second year numbers, but
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
technically, he
That's
did win
true. That's
Rookie of the
true.
Year. So, in Sean's defense, I see what you're saying.
His well, according to the NBA, his actual first year.
well,
Not actually, but yeah.
It was false. The NBA should force Ben Simmons to give the Rookie of the Year to Alonzo. But
Actually, Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell was a bucket.
That's who should have got it. But yeah, I mean, so I want to chime in there. So with Cade, I just worry that I don't think anyone else there is going to be able to set him up, and he's not the most athletic right now where he can create his own as easily as some other players can. So I don't know. But I do see where Cade can get the stat padding in the sense of he's going to be averaging about 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 14, 15 points maybe. Like
Yeah, I mean, I could see the 16 points per game, something like that.
Yeah, so he's gonna have all-around stats like that. So that'll be in his favor. Jalen Suggs. I mean, I really like Jalen Suggs as well. Yeah, I mean, I could see why you say him for Rookie of the Year. I guess my only dilemma was just – well, actually, no, it was more so just that I like Jalen Green a little more. That was really my only thing.
If you don't mind, I do also believe that they take a bit of team winning into consideration because I believe that's why LaMelo got the nod over Anthony Edwards.
No, I agree there. Yeah,
a better team. I don't think the Detroit Pistons are going to get over 25 wins, so I think that's going to hurt Cade a little bit. And I believe that the Magic have more talent on the roster, like I mentioned, Jonathan Isaac and Wendell Carter Jr. are there now. So at the end of the day, I still feel like the Magic have talent, and now you're adding Green, Cole Anthony's there. I think they can have a play-in position at the least. I think that's their floor.
Well, me and Max, we're gonna have a fun side bet after this recording, because I definitely think the Pistons will have a better regular season than Orlando. But that's
You're delusional.
I might agree with him there.
Oh, okay.
Or I might agree with you, Sean. I don't.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Magic, they're not.
It's a lot of young.
Yeah, it's a lot of
guys waiting for.
As long as Jeremy Grant's on the roster, I mean, they should get more wins in theory. And also, we have to remember Isaac. He didn't get the vaccine, correct?
I'm
pretty sure he hasn't.
I don't think he
actually
has.
haven't.
Nope,
I didn't, as far as I know, no. But
so he cannot play in California or New York, and probably some other places that will.
But without getting too political, I mean, he's going to play home games.
Okay, so he can play
when he's healthy.
Games.
When he's healthy.
Hey,
when he's healthy. Yep.
Hey,
no, but like Wendell Carter's still there and Cole Anthony. I think they're both. I think Cole Anthony's going to take a huge step up. I think he's going to be in contention for most improved player. And Wendell Carter Jr. I think he's got a lot of talent there, but you know.
All right, so since you're bringing up most improved, let's dive into most improved. Brad, how about you start us off with this one?
Okay, so the guy who's won most improved the last couple years, it's never like a role player. We really don't see like role players winning MIP anymore. Like it's usually like a star that gets drastically better. And
didn't Devontae Graham win that?
Okay, well, all right, that's fair.
Oh, interesting.
Generally, it's stars. And who I have is Ja Morant.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
I'm sorry. Who'd you say won it?
Me?
Devontae Graham?
Didn't he win it?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Oh, I thought he did.
The past 3 winners have been
7 people that have won it. Listen to the names: Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, Pascal Siakam, Victor Oladipo, Giannis Antetokounmpo, C.J. McCollum, and Jimmy Butler.
Wow. Okay.
So, like I said, I mean, those are all like all-star caliber players.
Yeah.
Or better. So, in other words, my MIP is Ja Morant. I think without Jonas Valanciunas this year, they are going to have to switch up the way they play in terms of being less post-oriented. And I think the ball is going to be in his hands a lot more. I think it's usage rating is going to be a lot higher. I love their coach, Taylor Jenkins, and I see them. I see him making his first All-Star appearance. I see him putting up big numbers. And he's also coming into this year. Last year he came into the year bang up with COVID being an issue, so there wasn't training camp. His first year, obviously, he was coming in as a rookie. This is his first full, real off season, I feel like, where he's healthy, where there's no restrictions, where he's not a rookie. So I like Ja Morant.
All right, that's a good take. I'm not gonna diss that. Max, where's your head at?
So I know I just mentioned Cole Anthony. I don't think he's going to win it, but I do believe he's my dark horse to win it. But I
Okay.
believe Michael Porter Jr. will win it. Like you mentioned, it's not really role players that get this. MPJ just got this big contract. He got exposed last year in the playoffs by the Phoenix Suns. They were targeting him on defense, and he was getting absolutely obliterated. But MPJ's really young. He's 24 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I know 23, I think. Yeah, he's 23, and he last year came off 19 points and 19 points a game at 23 years old. I think he can easily break 23, 24 points a game with Jokic and Murray there, both of them taking a lot of pressure off of him. Aaron Gordon got that big paycheck. He's going to be playing. I believe that MPJ is going to have one of his best seasons of his career. I think that this is kind of setting up that to be
Wow.
Denver Nuggets are one of the most stacked teams I think I've seen in a while, homegrown wise. They remind me a bit of like how the Warriors did it. The
Yeah.
Nuggets look nasty. They still have their picks, and they have built a dynasty. I believe. I believe the Denver Nuggets. Well, that's a conversation for another time. But MPJ definitely, I believe, can average 23, 24, even pushing 25 points a game this year. So I'm excited to see what MPJ can do this year, and I think he's easily going to win Most Improved Player.
Okay. I
All
he's
right,
in my top. He's definitely in my
he's in
top.
my top as well.
So mine, you guys are gonna like mine, by the way. So I'm gonna go with OG Anunoby. Listen, this
Okay.
guy has looked a lot. I've seen a lot of things in the preseason with him. He looks like he's playing with the ball in his hands a lot more, making plays. I definitely think there's a good chance he can make that stride that Jeremy Grant did last year with the Pistons. I think he can make that, try to push 20 points per game, and obviously he's a great defender. I I really think he has a good shot of winning MIP. Now, I know his back's against the wall slightly now that you mentioned those players. None of them are role players, but I think OG will take another step with this Raptors team now that Kyle Lowry's gone. I don't think Scotty Barnes' usage will be very crazy his rookie year. I think there's a lot more proven guys on that team. And they'll focus more on Scotty for defensive reasons. And I think Anunoby is going to take a big step.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, like I said, for the reason just because of the fact that he was a role player, but I mean, he also averaged 16 points a game
Yeah,
last year. So, you're expecting a 20 points?
it's not no, yeah. I mean, it's not like this crazy hot take. That's 4 more points per game.
Sure, yeah.
I mean,
Max, I need
my
to hear
thing is,
Max.
my thing is, you just said he'll get better now that Kyle Lowry is in there.
Well,
What
no, I
is?
think it'll force him to have the ball
Well, I
more
think
in
he'll
his
have more
hand.
usage.
Yes,
No,
his usage
I
will be a
think
lot higher.
I think his usage will be higher, but the points he got were from points fed off of him by Kyle Lowry. And I do believe that
Also,
Scotty Barnes is going to get most of the ball time. Him and Van Fleet, I think him and Van Fleet will definitely be running the ball the most. Scotty Barnes is a triple-double threat. We saw that sometimes. I don't think he's going to be getting it every night, but I believe once every 5 to 8 games, I think Scotty Barnes is going to be around a triple-double mark. He might not get it. He might have 9 assists and 9 rebounds.
Yeah, I know
But
what you
Scotty
mean.
Barnes is going to
Yeah.
be a triple double threat when he plays, and I believe he's going to get a little ball time. Van Fleet, I think, is going to get the ball twice as much, and Pascal Siakam, I believe, is also going to get the ball a crap ton this year now that Lowry's not there. I don't think the OG is going to take too many steps up. I believe that he will get better, but I just don't see him on the same level as some of these other guys we've mentioned.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I agree there. So then I want to talk a little bit about your MPJ one. So, I mean, I definitely have him on mine. And yeah, like kind of like John Morant, this is kind of one of his off seasons where he doesn't have to worry about injury or
It's a full off season. He's
full
healthy.
off
Yeah.
season, no COVID, no injury, no back issues anymore, or like that was giving him problems early in his career. So I do like that. I do like that one. Plus, with Jamal Murray expected to miss significant time, someone's gonna have to score points. Why not MPJ? He is one of the prettiest looking jumpers I think in the NBA. Maybe the prettiest. Is next to flawless. Just watching. So I like that one. But I still like Morant more.
All right. Did we have any other sleepers for MIP that we wanted to throw out before we moved on?
Well, I know I brought up Cole Anthony, but I still stand on that. I think Cole Anthony is definitely going to be at least a runner-up coming out of last season into this one. I think he's at least going to be runner-up. But then again, it all depends on how healthy the Orlando Magic are. So it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, I will say I did watch Cole Anthony, and this could be because, I mean, it's his second year. He established himself already as a rookie, but he didn't look great in summer league. I know it's just summer league, and like I said, I don't think he was fully trying, but I don't know. I didn't get that sense that he's going to take a huge. When I saw him, it didn't look like he was significantly better from last year. I will say Jordan Poole is someone I think will be in consideration.
Yeah, I've heard Poole's name around a lot.
He's
around
been
this
really good in the
conversation.
preseason, and he's going to be there. He's going to start next to Steph until Clay is back, and then be the sixth man. I mean, he's going to, as long as he's hitting shots, which right now he is. I mean, he's going to be in contention.
Well, I mean, okay, if I'm not wrong, most of the awards are kind of media driven. If I'm not mistaken, it's kind of
Yeah.
the media decides.
Agreed.
When Poole's out the starting lineup, I don't think he's going to get any media time. I think it's going to all be about Steph and Clay. Nobody's going to think about Poole on that roster. He's going to be one of the more forgettable guys once the team's back and healthy. So
that's a fair point. Yeah.
I'm not too high on Poole winning it. I do believe that he's going to be tremendously better taking strides.
Yep.
But I just don't. Because it's media based, I don't think he's going to win it for the fact that the Warriors have so many other guys on that roster that the media are going to be watching.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's move on. Defensive Player of the Year. So this will probably be a fairly quicker conversation, I'm guessing. For the past few years, it's kind of circled around a lot of the same players. Obviously, Rudy Gobert being one.
He's a fraud.
All right, Brad, who do you got winning this year?
I'm sorry. Did you say Rudy Gobert fraud?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I disagree with that, but he's not winning it. I definitely don't think he's winning it. But I have a new guy. Bam Adebayo is who I think is going to win it. And here's why. I mean, we already know he's so versatile defensively. He's can switch 1 through 5 with ease. I mean, he just light on his feet. He's flawless in that sense. And then also, he's going to be surrounded with great defenders, and Kyle Lowry, and Jimmy Butler, and PJ Tucker, Victor Oladipo possibly when he comes back, all those other gritty guys that the Heat have, all those gritty role players. So it's going to make his job that much easier. And if they're leading the NBA in many defensive categories, then there's a good chance that it's going to be his name up there because he's the most impactful defender on that team.
Wow, okay. I actually like that one. Bam is second on mine, so I have to respect it. And Max, if you have your strong opinions, feel free.
I do have some strong opinions. First of all, Rudy Gobert is a fraud. He looks like a penguin when he's outside the paint. But you know who's a big man who doesn't look like a penguin outside the paint?
Well, Bam Adebayo.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's him too, but there's somebody even better than him. He's got a unibrow. He plays for the best team in the league. His name's Anthony Davis. He's a monster.
Okay.
This year, he's gonna have less of an offensive task, which is gonna be nice to see Anthony Davis more focusing his energy on the defensive side of the ball. I think Anthony Davis could easily average 2 blocks a game and at least 1.5 steals a game. Anthony Davis looks like he's in the best shape of his career right now. He looks like he's gained weight, but at the same time, not lost any movement, speed, agility, any of that. And I know it's preseason and we haven't won a game yet, but that's not the point. That's not the point right now. The point is Anthony Davis looks like he's in good shape. He looks like he can play more than half the season for us. And I'm excited to see this because we've seen in the past players miss time, and that's the reason why they don't win it. Like,
Yeah.
my opinion, if Joel was healthy last year, he would have
Yep.
won Defensive Player of the Year. I think that's how it should have went. But, he missed a significant amount of time, and Giannis got it because he's an Iron Man. But I believe that Anthony Davis has a legit shot. He's been in contention for the past couple of years. He should have won it in 2020, but people don't want to accept that. Anthony Davis looks like he's in the best shape, and I easily think that he's gonna run away with this if he plays most of the season.
Interesting. Okay, Sean,
Yeah.
where are you at there?
So who I have is also Anthony Davis. I also have Anthony Davis. He was very close. Obviously, you believe he did win it in 2020. I actually did have I thought Giannis should have won it, and he did. But I think this is Davis's year to win it. There's a lot of guys who are gonna give the Lakers their all defensively this year. I think AD's really got a good chance of winning it as long as he stays healthy. That's my
Did you say both Lakers are going to get they're all defensively?
I think a good amount. I mean, Westbrook always gives his all.
How old are most of them? You think Melo and
Melo's going to take a step up. I think that's for sure. LeBron took a step up.
I think Melo's going to try to play hard to impress his friend Bron.
Oh, I mean, yeah. All right.
I don't think he wants to let down LeBron. I think that's the last thing Melo wants to do.
It's not only that. I mean, Frank Vogel's the head coach. He's a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah,
we were missing.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. We were missing LeBron and Anthony Davis most of last year, and we still had number 1 ranked defense with Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if Davis can stay healthy, he's my guy. He's my guy. I can't deny that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys made some good points for sure. I still have a little bit of trouble just because the injuries, but overall, I definitely
that's my concern. But sometimes you just gotta hope that a guy will stay healthy.
Yeah.
So let's move on to what about Coach of the Year? This is always a fun award. So Brad, why don't you give us your take on Coach of the Year?
All right. So you mentioned this earlier, Max, and it was a great point. A lot of times the Coach of the Year award is media driven. Or all awards are media driven.
All awards, okay.
Generally. And we saw Ty Lue get a lot of recognition in the playoffs as being a really good coach. Now, I think if the Clippers can be a top 4 seed in the West, especially if they're missing Kawhi for a good amount of the year, he is going to be Coach of the Year. I think they're capable of it with how deep that team is and how talented. PG looked when he's the main guy, I guess.
All right, I think you just killed Max on the inside.
No. He's fired me up right here.
All right, Max, where's your head at?
I agree. Ty Lue should get Coach of the Year if the Clippers make the playoffs. I think Ty Lue could get Coach of the Year for that. Eric Bledsoe, your starting point guard. Kawhi Leonard's going to miss at least half of the season. Pandemic P's not going to be doing that too well because I don't believe COVID's gone anywhere, so he's going to keep the nickname. You can't keep calling him Playoff P if he never shows up. Like Chuck said, they don't call him Championship Chuck. There's no way that the Clippers are going to be a top 4 seed. If they do get a top 4 seed, I completely agree with you. Tyler should get it. But I mentioned this earlier. When you have the number 1 ranked defense with Andre Drummond in your starting lineup, missing LeBron and Anthony Davis, you deserve some votes. You deserve some recognition. And I believe that he's going to get that this year. I believe Russ being in LA brings more media. And with media, like I said, brings votes. And the Lakers are kind of the front spectrum, them and the Nets. The only difference is the Nets have 3 top 5 NBA players on their team. The
Was
Lakers.
Kyrie on the team?
Kyrie's. I think he's on the team. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Even without
Anyways.
Kyrie, you have 2 top 3 players in the league on one team. So that's kind of my take right there. I believe that the Nets, they're easily going to get first, second seed, depending on how the East shapes up with Ben Simmons, who reportedly came to Philadelphia today. Odd, but
Yeah.
I believe Frank Vogel has a legitimate shot. And without being biased, an unbiased prediction, I believe Jason Kidd has a shot here. I believe the Dallas Mavericks are going to look a lot better than they have in the past couple of years, and they've looked really good the past couple of years. Like I meant, Luka's going to be a lot better than he has these past couple of years. He's been taking tremendous strides. And the beginning of the seasons before, we've kind of said, hey, is Luka ready to be in the MVP talks yet? No, he wasn't then. Yes, he is now. And because of that, he's going to get the media attention. And kind of the media is kind of pushing for Jason Kidd to, do well. I mean, he hasn't done too well as a head coach in the past. He did great as an assistant coach for us. And I believe he's learned a lot with LeBron, who has some of the highest IQ in the NBA. He's obviously learned a lot, especially working with Frank Vogel, who's an amazing defensive coach that I've mentioned thousands of times now in the past 20 seconds. Jason
All
Kidd,
right.
I believe, will have a shot.
Okay. All right, that's interesting.
That made me hurt on the inside. Oh man,
You deserve that.
that Jason Kidd pick. I can deal with the Frank Vogel, but I'm not buying Jason Kidd. You can have him. I actually don't even know if Mavericks are making playoffs. So have fun with that.
Okay.
You just said the Clippers.
Yep, I think Clippers will over Mavericks. I think they'll be better.
So wait, the Clippers who could barely get past.
Well, Clippers did beat them.
No, yeah, with Kawhi. With Kawhi. They ain't got Kawhi now.
I'm just saying, I don't think that team is – I'm not very high on Porzingis at all since his injuries. He just moves very stiffly, not very well at all. They just don't have enough, I don't think. I don't think they have enough depth as opposed to the Clippers, who do have a lot of depth. And injuries come.
What-
If
so what you
Luka
call
has
depth?
to miss any time, they are screwed.
All right.
I mean, I
so
agree. I think Luka's the key to that, but my bad.
Am I gonna get to say my coach of the year, fellas? Come on. Are we curious?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, we could be curious. So, who I have as coach of the year? So it is actually a repeat of one of your guys. You guys said I have Ty Lue as mine. I liked a lot of the points, or I agree with a lot of the points Bradley made. I like Ty Lue a lot winning it. I think he got a lot of recognition in the playoffs. I think they're going to do a good job building around Paul George during the regular season and get wins essentially. And hope to build that team up to make a playoff run for whenever Kawhi comes back. If he comes back, I should say. So, yeah. Sorry, Max, I hurt you like that.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
All right, let's go sixth man of the year. So, Brad, this is always a tricky one too because you never know who's really going to be on the bench, and these injuries happen.
Yep.
A guy could have to start the whole year when they weren't supposed to originally. So, Brad, where are you at?
So, I mean, if you look who finished top 3 last year as the 3 favorites, and I see why. And that's why I have Jordan Clarkson as my favorite for sixth man of the year. It's a little boring of a pick. I would be a little tempted with Joe Ingles, but I think Dwayne Wade seems very active in wanting to try to there was some trade rumors with Ingles and Bogdanovich. He seems very active to make a move. So I don't even know if Ingles will be there. Nothing's been said about Clarkson though. His role seems stable there. He's going to get points. I mean, that's what sixth man of the year. He didn't do it very efficiently last year and still won it. So I'm going to say Jordan Clarkson. I think there are some guys though, like I think Alex Caruso is going to be really interesting with the Bulls. I think he could be in contention with his defense and with his IQ and just overall feel for the game, overall game. Dennis Schroeder is an interesting one if the Celtics end up sticking with the awkward starting lineup they have now with Marcus Smart as their starting point guard. But overall, I'm going to say Clarkson because he can get you a bucket.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. Max, where are you at?
I'm surprised his name wasn't mentioned. His name's Derrick Rose. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of him.
I'm very familiar with him.
Oh, you are? Well, he's actually won an MVP, but he carried New York to their one win against the Hawks in the playoffs last year. I believe that Kemba Walker is going to get the starting job. That's what you brought him in for. Derrick Rose can't be playing 35 minutes a night starting. I don't think that's going to happen. Derrick Rose is going to kill it off the bench. I think he's going to give New York that second win when they sub the starters out, especially since I think Julius Randle's going to decline the most this year. But that's not an award. Derrick Rose is going to look nasty coming off the bench to the New York Knicks. And if not him, trying not to be a little bit biased here, but Kendrick Nunn's got to be up there somewhere. Kendrick Nunn's at least got to be on somebody's top 10 list. Come on now. He's going to have a nasty second unit to come in with. He's going to be, eating the leftovers of what the bench demolished, what the starters demolished to the other team. He can just come and eat the leftovers. He's going to dominate there. I think that's where he plays best. I think that's where he was used best in Miami. When he came off the bench, he was dominant. I think those two guys got to be up there. Patrick Mills is interesting. I think Patty Mills has a shot.
Yeah,
but
Patty.
All in all, I think Derrick Rose is going to walk away with it.
Especially if Kyrie misses time, whether they make Patty the starter or off the bench, his usage will definitely go up. So that's an interesting one.
I definitely agree.
That one. So I have – this is where it's tricky for if he will start or not. I have Dennis Schroeder winning it on my list. Now, during the preseason, he has not been starting. It's been Marcus Smart, the one. So if Dennis Schroeder's coming off the bench, I have him winning it for me. I think he will get 30 minutes a game, easily, like off the bench. If he is off the bench, I think they'll use him a lot. It'll be interesting to see how they play now with it being a new coaching staff and stuff. But I think you can't deny that Dennis Schroeder obviously can be a great scorer, and a lot of people see him as more of a really good six man than a franchise point guard. So I think he has a good shot winning that award this year. I think he's mad about the money. I think he'll want to try to find a way back into the open market and make up for it. So yeah, that's where I got Schroeder.
He's gonna fumble that award. I mean, you sure about that?
Hey, I can't. I think he'll get the award. If he'll fumble the bag again, I can't deny that.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, that's why I said with the Schroeder one. I mean, that's an interesting one for sure. Derrick Rose, though, are you concerned at all, though, with the fact that they added so many players in New York that his usage might not be, or he may not be getting as many shots as he did last year?
No, it's Derrick Rose. He's going to lead that second unit. I think that's his second unit. I think Thibodeau loves Derrick Rose. I know Thibodeau loves Rose.
Yeah,
He's going to give him full control of that
we
second
can't
unit.
deny.
He's not giving usage away from Derrick Rose. He's not doing that. He loves him too much.
Okay, AD and Derrick Rose, they have a better chance of being in the ER than winning these awards, but all right.
All right.
You picked a coach to win Coach of the Year with a team that's got half the roster in the ER, but go ahead.
Okay. Hey, we're up to the big card tonight. The MVP award. Are you ready, fellas?
The LBJ award?
Oh man,
Oh, my bad.
Max, does that mean you want to kick us off?
Yes, I will kick us off here with the MVP, and I'm going to be completely biased here. Kevin Durant's walking away with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Kevin Durant, without Kyrie playing half the games, I hate the Brooklyn Nets. It breaks my heart saying this, but Kevin Durant's going to win it. I think Kevin Durant's going to be putting up 30 points a game. I think that's clear. James Harden, his role in Brooklyn, he's coming here. He's been a great facilitator. Kevin Durant's been the Slim Reaper. He always has been, and he always will be. Kevin Durant is the most lethal offensive player in this league. And if it's not Kevin Durant, I know I've clowned on him a bit today, but Paul George will be runner-up.
I never thought I'd hear you say that.
You don't understand like how broken my heart is after saying that. But, you know, I try to be a bit realistic with some of the takes I make.
Yeah,
and if
no,
not, Paul
that's
George, Andre Drummond will. All right, there we go.
All right, Brad, where are you at?
All right, so mine is definitely more on the dark horse side. I don't see many of the stars being true MVP candidates because I think it's just too hard to have that media behind them, and the fact that so many of them have a star they're playing with and they have that argument against them. We've seen that for years. It's just hard to win the MVP award if you're playing next to another star like James Harden, especially. So who I have winning it is Trae Young, who has the clear defined role as the number one guy there. Everyone else plays off him. They got a ton of players that complement him. And now with Nate McMillan as a full-time coach, Indiana never should let him go, but I won't talk about that. But Trae Young, yes, they're going to do I know the foul rule is going to be implemented or they're not going to call as many fouls, but I don't believe it's going to stop him to that extent because it's not as much how he draws fouls isn't as much Harden. It's a lot of stopping or getting defenders on his back, stopping.
Yeah, getting them on your back, stopping.
You're going to get that call still if you're getting ran through. They're still going to call that as long as it's somewhat of a natural shooting motion. And he's just going to have too much leeway and too much opportunity for him not to thrive, I feel like.
Okay. So we've got two interesting MVP takes. We've had Trae Young from Brad and then Max. Did I hear Paul George's? No, I'm just playing. He was one of your top ones. No, but the Slim Reaper, Kevin Durant. And, well, Brad, I'm going to add on to your point a little bit. Not for Trae Young, but the MVP award does happen to go to a lot of times the guy who has the lack of help. And we have talked about this guy having the lack of help today. We've talked about his team questionably making the playoffs even with how bad his help is Luka Doncic. And here's why. We've been talking about the lack of help, which means Luka's going to have to do a lot. And I don't think Luka's going to let us down. I think he'll find a way to put the Mavs team on his back and take them to the play-in. If they win the play-in or not, that so be it. But they'll make
the play-in. He can win MVP.
Russell Westbrook won MVP as an 8th seed.
No, 6th seed.
6th seed.
Oh, that's a lot better than a play-in. I mean, that's like top.
Well, okay, but 7th seed's basically a play-in.
Okay, but Westbrook also did average a triple-double.
Something that no one had done in 50 years.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call it crazy to say Luka does that this year. I think he'll be.
I would.
I think he'll be extremely close. I don't know if he'll technically have it, but I think he'll definitely get 10 assists a game. The rebounds, it could be like an 8, whatever. I think Luka, though, will be that type of threat.
Interesting.
I agree and I disagree with that. I believe that's definitely kind of like a more dark horse. I believe that he can do it.
Hey,
I believe the Mavericks will be nasty this year.
A lot of betting odds right now have Luka as the number one. So, just saying, out of consistency,
I just don't think Luka can
he
compete.
appears on a lot of people.
I don't think Luka's on the same level as somebody on a. I mean, we didn't mention his name, but obviously we got to say LeBron's going to be up in the race, right? I think that kind of goes without saying. LeBron's going to be
Um,
up there.
I don't know if he'll be up in the race. I like
You don't think
LeBron.
he'll be top 5?
I
I
don't
think
know.
his teammates will beat him out.
I don't think they'll go as hard. I don't think he'll have to have a huge workload in the regular season. I think when come playoff time, I think he's going to be a monster. I agree. I think he'll be great then, 100%. But I don't think we're going to see a crazy motivated LeBron like trying to win MVP this year. Like, I don't know.
So you can make an argument for either way on this, like his workload isn't as high, but at the same time, Westbrook's going to be his point guard. Wouldn't that make him scoring the easiest it's been for quite a while? He doesn't have to dribble the ball up, then drive, then score, then hit a three. He's got Westbrook that can set him up, get him in position, he gets a wide open shot, because Westbrook's going to draw attention. No doubt about that.
Yes.
Anthony Davis is going to draw attention, no doubt about it. LeBron's going to have, I think, more open shots and easier attacking lanes than he has in the past couple years.
I mean, I think a big thing also then is LeBron's gonna have to hit those shots. Not saying he's a bad shooter, but he's also not Kevin Durant type shooter. So
I mean, I don't think Kevin Durant's ever seen 3 rims and still made it.
that was my.
You are the ultimate
was-
LeBron fan.
Well,
I am a
Lakers
pure
fan.
bronze
Lakers
sexual.
fan.
Lakers fan. All right.
Oh man, that was a fun one. Do we have any other MVP dark horses here? Because I actually do have one more.
I want to hear yours first, but I do have one more.
Well,
Okay.
so yeah, you go first. You go first.
I have now. I know this seems a bit of a stretch, but I have Damian Lillard as my third. He's in my top 3. I just think it could be a comeback year for I could see the story now where it's a possible comeback year for him or for the team essentially. Try to get a little motivation now with Chauncey Billups. I think he'll be very good there. I think they needed a head coaching change. I think it was time, and I think Dame's gotta be motivated in some way and find that fire and try to finally get into the MVP combo because he really hasn't been throughout his career. But
What are
I know
your
he
thoughts
has the
on that,
talent
Max?
for it. Sorry, Brad, what'd you say?
I was asking Max what his thoughts were on that. I'm curious to hear.
Well, it's somebody that people claim all the time that he's just a shooter, that he can only shoot. And that's Ben Simmons. Wait, no, his teammate. Joel Embiid is going to have the nastiest year of his career. He doesn't have Ben Simmons clog into the paint. He doesn't have to stand outside the paint waiting for Ben Simmons to drive because Ben Simmons can't shoot. He's going to have full reign of the court, and I think he's going to take full advantage of that. If Ben Simmons isn't there, Joel Embiid, he's been in the MVP race these past couple of years. I mentioned this earlier. Last year, he was kind of in the race too. Before he went down with an injury, it was kind of between him and Jokic. But
Yeah, obviously.
he's going to have full reign of the court. He doesn't have a point guard that can't do anything outside of 2 feet. He's going to be able to clog up that paint all he wants, and I think we're going to see a scoring year high for Joel Embiid this year.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I'll
Yeah, I
respect
mean
it.
that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one at all. So you actually made my case. My dark horse one was like Paul George, but you already said that for me, Max. So thank you. I guess I'll go with who I have as my runner up is the best center in the league, and that is not Joel Embiid. That is former MVP Nikola Jokic, who you just alluded to, and he is going to this is a big if. If Denver can be a top 5 seed, I mean, it's going to be tough. I don't think they will.
I think they will.
But
I think they'll be second or third.
You think they're going to be second or third seed?
Definitely, they're the deepest team in the league. Deepest.
Okay, so you like them a lot. Okay, you like them more than me. Then, without Murray, I just don't see enough firepower. But I think
Morris
Jokic.
and Campazzo ain't terrible.
What was that?
Morris and Campazzo ain't terrible.
For the
No,
second
they're
seed
not.
in the West, they are.
Stop it. Murray will come back, if I'm not mistaken. Murray
Yes,
will
yes.
come
Well,
But
later in the year, though.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
but-
probably like March.
But when Murray went down last year, everybody said, all right, the Nuggets are going to start losing some games. And
Agreed. Yep.
they didn't really lose a bunch of games after that. They still looked like a very solid team, and they beat Damian Lillard in the playoffs. Somebody brought up,
yeah.
dark horse for MVP.
Yep.
They beat him in the playoffs without a point guard.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's fair to say that Campazzo and Morris can't hold off, at least a solid top 5 record in the West at worst. And then when Murray comes back, they'll easily have a second, third. I don't think they're going to beat out my Lakers. Maybe a little bit of bias there. But the Nuggets are, I think, in my opinion, still I know they lost Millsap, which is quite a bad loss, but I still think they're one of the deepest teams in this league.
Okay. Yeah. And
You lost my point for me. Yeah.
Damn, I'm making arguments for you. This ain't fair. What am I doing?
All right, everyone. I just want to say thank you for everyone who listened to the podcast. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our page. Also, don't forget to subscribe and check out Mama's Legacy podcast. Max does a lot of great work there, and we tend to work with each other a lot. So please feel free to give him a subscribe. We'll put his information in the comment section. But yeah, thank you to our viewers. Brad, any last words?
I just want to say, Max, thanks for coming on, man. This was great.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I love recording with y'all. Y'all are some of my favorite people to work with. You guys have some pretty terrible takes about Ty Lue, but other than that, you guys are pretty cool people. I know you like to nag on me being you guys like the Clippers all of a sudden when I come on the podcast. Every other time, it's hating on them. But when I come on, Clippers fanboys. But no, in all seriousness, I do love you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I hopefully I'll be back on a couple more times, huh?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, of course. It'll happen.
All right. That'll do it for the BS Scouting Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day.